What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, that bell notification. Help a brother out. And if you clicked on this video, go ahead and just click on the subscribe button. Helps me out tremendously, and I greatly appreciate it. And thank you to all of my almost 6,400 subscribers already. I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so much. Big thanks. And to all my renegades out there. I put out a lot of other videos outside of Ren reactions. I need y'all to come watch my videos. Give me some view counts. Help me out. I'm trying to make this a business and my job eventually. So help me out. All you renegades out there. I'm calling on all you because there's a couple thousand of you out there that subscribe to my channel right now. So please, please, please. I can't thank you enough, and I appreciate y'all, but please, 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 all you renegades out there that watch my Ren reactions, please help me out and support my channel by watching my other reactions as well. Greatly appreciated. So without that being, I did it again. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. It's a long one, but I know all you renegades don't care how long it is, as long as you get to watch a Ren reaction. So let's go and check this out. Ren Eden.
Let me tell you a story as old as time, the story of Adam and Eve. It starts with a God who wanted more. God had just created the heavens and the earth. He had the angels by his side, but they had no will of their own, and so the autonomy to love or reject him was never theirs. All but for one, the once called bringer of light.
Yo, this is like a Bible lesson, dude. I'm about to go to Sunday school, dude. We're going to Sunday school, man. Now, knowing Ren, he ends up flipping it around and surprising you and giving you some like life lessons that hit you in the moment, right? Brilliant. He's a brilliant dude, man. So we'll see what this is all about. But right now, I feel like I'm kind of getting a Bible lesson, dude. What's going on? But as the story goes.
Earth. He had the angels by his side, but they had no will of their own. And so the autonomy to love.
Real quick, too. I'm trying. I know you guys are like, what are you doing? It's looking like a Legend of Zelda game or something. He turned into a Bible lesson, dude. Like the whole graphic, old video game, Nintendo, Legend of Zelda feel, maybe even Final Fantasy, dude, which I never really played, but I did play Zelda. All right.
Or reject him was never theirs. All but for one, the once called bringer of light, Lucifer, morning star. Lucifer was the fairest and most intelligent of all the angels. He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeliness, Lucifer felt restless. He began to question and doubt God. He doubted the hierarchy opposed upon him. He felt God was arrogant. In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny. A war ensued. God, being all-powerful, came out the victor and banished Lucifer from the heavens and exiled him to earth. Once again, God was alone with his power. Perhaps from loneliness, perhaps from
Spacebar not working. I will say real quick before we get more into this, just a quick opinion is like, I've never been a real religious person, right? I do have people in my life that are religious, and I've had people in my life that are religious, right? In the past. And they're in the past, not because they're bad people, just because they're in the past. Not everybody can come with you on your journey through life. So, and that's just the way it is. But all the things I've read in the Bible, I mean, God definitely, if it's a real being and this is God and all this is created by him, it seems a bit arrogant. Why don't you make sacrifices for him and follow all these rules and just have faith even though you never saw him? It's a bit crazy if you ask me. But I also, as I get older, have started thinking, what is all this? And it definitely seems like an intelligent design. I don't know. I don't know. Just have to throw that in there.
In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny. A war ensued. God, being all-powerful, came out the victor and banished Lucifer from the heavens and exiled him to earth. Once again, God was alone with his power. Perhaps from loneliness, perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love, God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself, the human, two humans specifically, Adam and Eve. They were placed inside.
Dude, I like how when he says Adam and Eve and says these little stuff, he has like that deep, almost like satanic voice, right? Like Adam and Eve. I like that little extra additive to how he's describing the story. Because not everything with Adam and Eve is all sunshine and rainbows, bro. If it's even true.
Perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love, God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself, the human, two humans specifically, Adam and Eve. They were placed inside a paradise built for them on earth, the Garden of Eden. In the garden, God placed a tree that bared fruit that would grant anyone who ate it powers bestowed only to a God, to tell good from evil, left from right, to live righteously or to sin. He named this the Tree of Knowledge. God told Adam and Eve they could eat whatever they wanted in the garden, but never the fruit from the Tree of Knowledge. And if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told is that Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the Tree of Knowledge. Convinced, she bit the fruit, she passed it to Adam, and he did the same. Suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they...
See, dude, y'all women, man, been getting us men in some shit, dude, since day one, man. What a man will do for a little wop wop, a little whoop whoop, a little ha. What a man will do to this day. The story goes, dude. Oh man, it's funny. I mean, I've already known all this stuff. I was a little bit involved with church when I was younger too, which I did not like it, but not because of the knowledge and about God and all that, just because of the people involved, man. It's not always the best thing in my opinion, but and another thing, why would God put these two there and be like, here, you can eat anything you want, just don't touch this fruit? Like, us humans know it's human nature, and if he created us, he should know better. Like, we're going to eat the fruit, dude. You tell someone not to do something, they want it. They're like, oh, but why shouldn't I do it? Oh, my. But if I do eat the fruit, I get all this knowledge like a god. Bro, I'd bite the apple too, dude. Especially if a beautiful naked woman handed it to me. He's like, here, eat this. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Which end do you want me to eat first?
Of knowledge, and if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told is that Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the Tree of Knowledge. Convinced, she bit the fruit, she passed it to Adam, and he did the same. Suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they realized they were naked and felt shame. God discovered this betrayal and felt angry. He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal. They would work, they would bear children, and they would die. The fate of a human. Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both were true.
This wasn't some great deception, meaning that Satan, in the likeliness of God, perhaps understood his intentions. In fact,
the only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to
death.
This could be seen as an act of
mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree that could grant this.
Yo, this is getting deep, dude. I love Ren, man. I really thought this was going to be a song, dude. I know, like, I know y'all gonna follow along with me, man, because it's Ren and y'all renegades out there. Y'all crazy. We all crazy. I'm a renegade now too, man. I love Ren. I love what he does. He went #1 in the UK, man. Independent. I love it, dude. It's great. But I'm getting a Bible lesson here, dude. And this is his, in a way, his interpretation, how they put this together. And there's a lot of questions you ask, man. Like, why wouldn't you want us to have knowledge? Why wouldn't you want this? Why wouldn't you want that? But yet we have free will, dude, to reject. But we cannot reject God, or else you'll be forced to hell with Satan, Lucifer, the old angel. So, yeah, that's why I go back and forth, man. I have a lot of questions about religion, man. A lot of it, to me, doesn't make sense. It's egotistical. It's, you got to follow these rules, and this is the right thing to do. But how do y'all know what's right? And how do you know? How do you know, like, Muslims ain't correct, or Christians are right, or not right, or like Buddhism's the way to go? That's the ultimate. Who knows? So I just would never be die hard about it, dude, and act like I do. But I still don't see anything wrong with anybody praising their God and doing their thing that makes you a better person. Do it. This is definitely getting interesting. This is definitely aligning with how I think a little bit, but before I give a full opinion on if it's aligning with me or not completely, watch the rest.
Of God perhaps understood his intentions. In fact,
The only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to
death.
This could be seen as an act of
Mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge.
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree that could
grant this knowledge in the first place
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing,
perhaps wanted and intended
the humans to
bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve.
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also...
So, real quick, I'm going to continue to go back a hair, but this is definitely aligning me because I feel there's no hell below us. I feel, I've said this since I was young, like a young man. I started realizing stuff, that heaven is when you die and you're set free of all the world's problems. This is hell. We're exiled. We're here. And when you die, you regain the peace in your life. Some people have a great life here, but it's hard for a lot of people. And I think initially, though, the struggles of everything that humans have all over the world is hell. Because if you're not American in some of these developed countries, UK, Sweden, some of these developed countries where it's pretty sweet, dude, you live in a war zone. You live in the jungle. You live in where mercenaries come and guerrilla warfare. Dude, not a lot of the world, it's not pretty for a lot of people. So let's go back a little bit. But I just was like, whoa, that blew my mind, because I'm like, dude, I feel like we're living in hell. And when you die, that's peace. That's heaven. But I could be completely wrong too, dude. Don't know. You don't know till you know.
tree that could
grant this knowledge in the first place
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing,
perhaps wanted and intended
the humans to
bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve.
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also both constructed
We
in the
were
image of
also
our
both
Creator,
constructed in the image of our Creator.
meaning our behaviors, in some shape or form, imperfectly echo His.
We could assume that this kind of
God has his doubts,
But
but as the most
powerful
Being in the universe,
he has no one above him
to turn to with questions, and no one to
Doubt but himself, an incredibly lonely and isolating existence.
We must only assume that the common thread between God, Lucifer, and us is the desire for more, an eternal curiosity, a desire perhaps birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place? The constantly looping, bittersweet irony is whether gifted by some omnipotent God or simply a byproduct of billions of years of evolution, here we stand, in 2023 as creatures with free will, the only creatures that understand and define good from bad, creatures with the potential of a god. And what do we do with that free will, my friends?
We jack it up, son, and we kill each other and we try to destroy the world, dude. Got bombs that'll take out a whole race of people with the push of a button, basically. Boy, I knew I was going to be intrigued by this the whole way through, even though it's not a Ren song. I love this. It's just basically like a high-level vlog, dude, just to let you know how he's feeling about certain things. And I appreciate this a lot. This is how he feels. This is what he wants to get out to the world about certain things to make you think. And I think he's doing a good job of that.
2023 as creatures with free will.
See where
the
it
only
goes.
Creatures that understand and define good from bad. Creatures with the potential of a god. And what do we do with that free will, my friends? We willingly walk to the edge of a cliff.
Let's go.
In the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish. Our free will overrides our own biological instinct. We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can willingly create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems.
Dude, this is intense because it's so true. I mean, look at this shit, man, that's going on around us right now, dude. It's like, it's obvious that there's a group of, to me, it's obvious there's a group of people out there that run the world. They're leaders from every country, and it's a powerful person. They're all in some way in cahoots. Whether directly or indirectly, all these powerful people, I mean, who else are they going to brush shoulders with? So, not all of them, but a lot of these people have bad intentions for us and great intentions for them. And it is sickening that this is the way it is in an advanced civilization, but it is. And it's insane. I'll tell you what, the vibe of this too, and the voice and the voice change and all that. It's like if you all have ever seen Anonymous, dude, in their videos, it's very similar to that kind of style. Like, Ren, are you actually anonymous? Let's go.
The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish. Our free will overrides our own biological instinct. We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can willingly create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems ran by corrupted politicians and bloated dictators who claim domain and dominion over an open and free land. We willingly elect the corrupted when the decision was always ours to build something better. We willingly create and impose separation because of beliefs that we are force-fed through our phones and television sets. We always had the will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics. War, famine, pestilence, greed, these aren't things imposed upon us by an all-powerful God or by his demonic adversary. They are here because of us. Not because of free will, but because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves. because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering. Take a second to be in this very moment.
Wow. That's powerful, man, because it is true, dude. You gotta, I will say that the video game aspect of this, the writing, the video, all the video game aspect of this, it just ties in right into the money game. Money game 1, 2, 3. This may as well have been money game 4, but I don't think he wanted to keep going with it. So it's basically what he's saying. I mean, these are life lessons, man. Anybody that really is struggling in life needs to listen to people like Ren and other people that are brilliant that have been through life stuff that's been tough and they came out on the other end successful and are doing their thing, what they want to do, and they're not beholden to a corporation, or they don't have to show up and punch a clock every day and be beholden to a boss who hates their life and hates their job and wants, it's a vicious cycle that we all get ourselves in. And I've been there, and I'm trying not to do that. That's why I work for myself, and I have for the last 3.5 years. I've been self-employed and have my own businesses. So it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you have the grit and the determination and motivation within yourself to defy the odds, you can do it. It just takes so much effort that I think a lot of people are not willing to do. It's like, when you look at a mountain, you're like, oof, it's way up there. All right, I guess I'll start walking. That's the attitude you got to have. Not like, oof, it's huge. It's tough. And dwell on how hard something is rather than just, what is it going to take to get it done and just get after it? And then be able to work really hard and, like they say, stop and smell the roses and enjoy moments in time and have fun. You got to do both. But if you don't work hard, like really hard, those moments of peacefulness and stopping and smell the roses is going to be less and less, because you're going to be stuck in a complete grind that you can never feel like you're out of. Wow.
They are here because of us, not because of free will, but because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment, of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves, because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering. Take a second to be in this very moment. In this moment, how much suffering is happening all over the planet right now? How many people are dying of illnesses that could have easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity? How many people break their backs and reject their own passions to simply afford bills and food? How many of us crave distraction from existence? How many of us numb that pain in whatever way necessary? How many children are being abused? How many people sleep cold and hungry on the streets? How many of us become cogs inside a machine that is destroying itself? How many soldiers have been forced to fight in meaningless wars? How many humans have killed for ideals they don't believe in or understand? How many people have died for the greed of another man? And how much of this was avoidable? As written in the Bible, Satan was not condemned to hell. Satan was condemned to earth. He lives there amongst other creatures with free will, who always had the choice and still chose their own undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-made hell. The bittersweet irony is this is a creation of our own design. I'll leave you with this. Consider what you have done here today. You have worked together as individuals, collaborating to form a giant neural network, a hive mind capable of achieving incredible things. We have lent on each other's strengths to solve puzzles and decipher riddles, and we've done so to win money. Imagine applying that same spirit and determination to creating the closest thing we have to paradise here on Earth. By using the power of collaboration, we can work together to even the playing field for everybody. Our dystopias can become utopias. Our Jahannams can become Jannah. Our hells can become heaven, right here on Earth. And this sentiment applies to atheists, agnostics, and believers alike. Myself, I'm an agnostic who believes. I believe in us. We must do better because we can choose to. We must be better simply because the option exists. Thank you.
Wow, dude. Wow. Boy, there's a lot to unpack in this one, honestly. And I know I've talked about it quite a bit throughout the video, as I like to do. Why the thought is fresh in my mind, I like to just stop and talk about it. That's why I know my reaction videos are definitely not like other typical reaction video makers, because I like to talk a little bit more in depth about my own personal experiences, my own personal thoughts about what I'm watching, how it relates to me, and maybe relates to other people. So let's talk a little bit more about this. So it is facts, like, I don't know. I don't really say if I'm agnostic. I'm definitely not atheist. I mean, I believe in something, right? Atheist, like, you don't believe in anything. I don't know. I guess I'm more agnostic, and I've always said, like, I have faith in myself. You're like, don't you have faith? Yeah, I have faith in myself. That I know that when things get hard, I get harder. I work hard. I'll persevere. I treat people with respect. I'm nice to everybody I come in contact with. Unless you give me a real reason not to be. And that usually it will never happen with somebody I'm just passing by and saying hey to at the store or something. But, I believe in being nice to people. I believe in helping people if you can. Like I said in the beginning too, like, I feel like in my experience in life, no one ever rescued me. I was never rescued. No one ever saved me. I never had a mentor. I never had anybody take me like, hey, I got you. I never had anybody do that with me. Growing up or when I was developing or anything. I had a really rough upbringing. So I never felt like anybody was going to save me anyway. So that's probably a big reason why I never really got into the religion thing. Because I'm like, nobody's coming to save me. And I'm going to think like God or Jesus or any of them are going to come save me, dude. Like, no one's ever even, in this day and age, no one's even seen them. I don't even know if it's real. I have to just take the word of the gospel for what it is. And I have a hard time doing that because I just don't trust people in general for the most part anyways. If I meet someone and they're a good quality person and I start to grow a relationship with them, I will trust them. But I just don't give my trust to just whatever or whoever. And so why would I believe that I'm going to be saved by God, who I've never seen or heard from, and the people that God made, which essentially are my parents, treated me like I was a piece of dirt, dude, growing up. So no one's coming to save me, dude. And that's just the way I looked at it. And I still look at it that way. I got to save myself. That's my faith in me. I said, I don't knock people for being religious, I just think that when you're diehard and this is the only thing to believe in, I think it clouds your judgment from a lot of other possibilities that could be helpful or healthy to help you progress your life. And instead you stay inside this box of rules created by someone you've never even met before, written by man, who has the free will to destruct and do whatever you want and create our own hell on this earth as we've done, like he said in the video. So why I cannot take it face value. I just cannot. Do I think there's some brilliant stories in the Bible, some good life lessons? Do I think the 10 Commandments are a good way to live your life? Yeah, for the most part, yeah, I do. I think 10 Commandments are a good way to live your life. I've always said that. Don't murder, don't steal, don't, commit adultery. All that stuff is good ways to live your life. It's an honest way to live your life. But, that's all I'll say about that. And then, the wars and all that. Like, I went to a war zone. I did not agree with that war. I did not want to go to Iraq. I was very open and opinionated very open with my opinions about it. I spoke up to all my higher ups. I talked to everybody about it. Everybody asked me, what do you think? I think we're getting into a shitstorm we do not want to be a part of. My buddies, we'll be out of here by summertime, in and out in a few months. And I'm like, I don't think you guys really understand what's about to happen here. Like, I'm not some profit, dude. But when you look at history, you know, and the things that we've gotten involved in and in certain territories, you think this is going to be over like that? Nah, bro. Dude, we still got bases in Japan in modern day. We never left Japan. That was in the 40s, dude. So it drives me nuts, man, that innocent people, those are people's husbands, kids, daughters, mothers, fathers that died because somebody wanted some money out of resources. They want resources. So listen, that's all I'm really going to say about that to wrap that up. That's just how I feel. I'd get more in depth, but it's not a podcast. It's a reaction video. So I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I hope y'all got a lesson out of this one and makes you reflect the way it does me. You know, sometimes we get first world problems, forget that a lot of people in the world are starving and don't have any resources to do anything. And then I try to reground myself and remind myself of that. Like, oh, I don't have hot water. I got water though. You know what I mean? Hey, subscribe, like, share, comment, please, in the section below. Let me know what y'all think. Till next time, peace.
I've traveled so far, couldn't tell you how far. Feels as though I have been a million places at once. Many lives I have lived, many battles I fought and lost.